We are at the water this afternoon with this 2004 Regal 2665 Commodore. It's powered by a Yanmar 240 horsepower diesel engine, and it is matched up to this Bravo III Sterndrive, fitted with a pair of 26-inch pitch props. So 26 pitch. These are quite strong now, I have to say, for a boat of this size with this power, but we will see how they perform. Nice boat. Exterior is in lovely condition. This is just our tagging system about winterizing boats, so just ignore that. It does need a fresh coat of anti-fouling paint, which it will be getting before it's advertised. But yeah, nice boat, nice set of camper covers with it. Extended swim platform, laid in flexi teak as well. But yeah, let's get it on the water now and put her through her paces. We will show you how this boat performs underway. So the boat's powered by this 4-cylinder Yanmar, the 4LHA-STZP, 240 horsepower, 4-cylinder diesel, very reliable power plant. Let's turn on the battery power in here. The boat does still need valeted, so please excuse the dirt. And we'll get our trim down and fire up here. Our clock on this boat is currently showing 1,074 hours down here, and we will fire it up. So just make sure it's in neutral. We got the run switch in the run position. We've the drive trim down. Turn the key. Let's give it a wee bit of throttle. Okay, so we are on the water, and I will just briefly walk you through the dashboard on this thing. So we've got a Navman tracker 5605 GPS chart plotter here. Picked up a fix and it's given us speed information there. So we get our speed, boat speed there in knots, knows where we are. We also then have full dash up here. So we've got our oil pressure gauge. This is reading quite high at the minute, but it's obviously a replacement gauge, so we'll keep an eye on that. As the engine warms up, it should drop back a wee bit. Temperature gauge, we're waiting on the engine to come up to temperature. We've got our rev counter here. This digital hour display is redundant because we have this hardwired clock here, but this does give us our engine speed. We've got digital depth gauge here, so we're in 21 feet of water. Trim gauge is not currently working, so we don't have an indication on the trim, but you can sort of do that by feel as well. Speedo here, boat speedo, but we'll obviously get accurate GPS speed from that. Voltmeter showing 13 volts, so we're charging okay. And our fuel gauge, not a whole lot of fuel in this boat, so we won't spend too long out here. And these are our trim tab controls. We'll run the boat without the tabs at the minute. The tabs are fully retracted. We'll put it on plane with no tabs, and then we'll put it on plane again with the tabs fully extended. Steering is nice and light. Tilt adjust steering wheel. Throttle and shift lever here. That's forward, neutral, and reverse. It's nicely balanced, nice and smooth as well. So we're trimmed fully down. We've got no trim tabs applied, as in these BIOS, and we will now put it up on plane here. So here we go. We get it lined up. Just wait for the turbo to build pressure. That's the nose dropping. That's us up on the plane. We're doing about 21 knots here at 2,800 RPM. That was pretty good actually. without any trim tabs. Got up on plane pretty quickly. Didn't lose sight of the horizon. And we are cruising nicely. So let's take a look. We're doing 2,600 RPM. Temperature has come up to middle of the gauge. The spoke speedo's not working, but we're getting our speed information from the chart plotter. All these gauges look fine. So that's us 2,600 RPM, and we are running at 18 knots. 18 knots, that's about 22 miles an hour. So that's going to be your sort of economical cruising speed. Boat runs nicely, tracks in a straight line. Okay, what we'll do now is we will drop the trim tabs down, so we'll fully extend the trim tabs. You just got to hold these switches down for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. That'll fully extend both trim tabs, and that should get the boat up on plane a bit faster. Should keep the nose more level as well as we put the boat on plane here. Okay, so Sterndrive fully trimmed down, trim tabs fully extended. Let's put it on plane again here now. Here we go. So that's us. So the boat stayed a lot flatter and we're on plane much quicker. Let's lift the tabs now. Let's go for a full speed run now. So that's us doing 3,500 RPM. At 27 knots. this Regal 2665 runs with the Yanmar 240 horsepower and the 26-inch props. It actually gets up on plane quicker than I was expecting, especially if you drop the trim tabs. You'd notice we had virtually no bow rise there. Just keeps the boat very level, gets it up on plane quickly. As soon as the turbo kicks in, you're up and away. Cruising speed, comfortable cruising speed on this boat's going to be like 2,500, 2,600, 2,700 RPM at about 18 knots. And then flat out, we were getting, the quickest I saw on the GPS there was 27 knots, and that was at 3,500 RPM. So anywhere from sort of like 18 to 22 knots is going to be your typical cruising speed on the plane. Obviously, the boat's happy as Larry to tip along at this sort of speed, you know, 4 or 5 knots. No, if you're using it on the inland waterways. And what you can do is you can drop the trim tabs. You can fully extend these trim tabs, and that really helps with straight line tracking. Some of these Sterndrive boats are prone to wandering around a bit. So if you are just looking for something just to tip along at sort of 5 or 6 knots, this thing will do that as well. It's SIP diesel. You know, if we put it, let's set it to around about 1,000 RPM there. That's us running at 1,000 RPM now, nice and quiet. We've got the trim tabs extended. I don't really have to work too much at the steering wheel to get it to go in a straight line. And we're doing 5.8 knots. And we've got no wash. So 0 wash. So this is going to be a nice sort of river cruising speed. Very economical. I think, to be honest, that's the way that this boat has been used for the last number of years. You notice the oil pressure gauge has now sort of come down to the middle of the gauge. You would expect that as the engine warms up, the oil warms up, the pressure will drop back, but it's over 40 psi, which is perfect. The temperature needle is sitting bang in the middle of the gauge. Even when we were running flat out, the temperature was nice and steady. And apart from the trim gauge and the boat speedo, which you don't really need because you got your GPS speed, all the rest of the instruments are working. Voltmeter, fuel gauge, depth sounder, yeah, rev counter, all working. So it is running nicely. And the performance is pretty good with those big props. You could go for smaller props if you wanted to get up on plane quicker, but I think this boat lends itself more to slow speed cruising than anything else, in my opinion. So we'll head back to the slipway now. There you go, a nice boat, nice and relaxing to drive at this sort of speed. It's got a good set of camper covers, the hull and stuff's all in nice condition. We're going to get it back into the showroom and do a full showroom video in the next week or two, all being well, and we'll get it on the market. These type of boats are in very short supply at the minute, and consequently there does seem to be good demand for them. This one's in decent order. It is a 20-year-old boat. It's going to require ongoing maintenance. Not everything's working on it. It's not completely perfect, but it is a nice, sound boat in my opinion, and it appears to be running. It's doing everything it's supposed to do.